Hey there. Welcome back to Friends, Loves, and Life. I'm David Begor. Today we're pedaling into something big, something emotional and beautiful, and final. But before we ride up that first hill, I want to share something, a moment in time that has always stuck with me. Back in my 20s, I was living in Las Vegas, and I got this job at Saks Fifth Avenue in the visual merchandising department. We were affectionately known as window witches, which, kind of love. I begged my way into that job. I wanted that job so badly, and the guy who managed that department was leaving, and they needed someone to fill that role, not as the head of the department, but as just someone who would be there to take care of things while they did a search for someone to fill his position. So they gave me the job. Out of that, it was like pure luck that I got that job. About a month in, I found out they were bringing in someone from another store to run the department, Herb Korn. He was transferring in from South Coast Plaza. And someone from HR gave me a heads up that he was given permission to let me go because I didn't have the experience and they wanted to bring someone in with experience to work with him. So I spent the next few days before he arrived going through everything. I organized, I cleaned, I filed, I did everything possible to answer any question he had when he came in. Because I wanted that job so badly, I would do anything to keep it. When he arrived, I arrived early, I was ready, I was there, and I sat down with him in the office, and I said, look, I know that you can fire me, but will you give me a week? Just give me a week to prove myself. And he did. That week turned into 5 years. He became my mentor. He became my best friend. He became the person who saw me, not just as a gay person, but as a creative person. He taught me everything. In our 5th year of working together, Herb died of complications from AIDS. I think about him a lot, and I thought about him a lot while making this episode, because the love and generosity that he showed me, that kind of quiet belief in someone, that is the same spirit that runs through the AIDS LifeCycle ride. This episode is about that ride. This episode is about 2 people and their experience going through that ride and why they did it. This year was the last AIDS LifeCycle ride from San Francisco to Los Angeles. 500 miles, 7 days. Everyone on that ride knew it was the final one. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional. My guests today, Sean Rhodes and Mike Chandler, know that feeling. Mike rode for the first time. Sean came back after years away. And what unfolded between them is a story of tenacity, friendship, joy, breakdowns, mechanical and emotional, and a deep sense of belonging. So whether you've crossed your own finish line or you're still climbing that first hill, this one's for you. Here's my conversation with Sean and Mike. All right. Hi, Mike. Hi, Sean.
Hey, David.
How are you guys doing since you've been back?
I'm doing pretty good. It wasn't for me. It wasn't as big of a re-entry into the regular world as it had in the past. I don't know why.
Really?
Maybe because I'm so used to it. No, I don't know
Wow.
why. It's interesting. Mike, how did you feel?
I'm very depressed, actually.
Oh,
I mean, everyone told me afterwards you're going to feel depressed because the love bubble is gone.
yeah,
And
Hmm.
probably not. No, I doubt it. But yeah, and I'm still kind of dealing with it a little bit.
yeah.
But the first week or two afterwards, it was very emotional. It was sadness because it was gone. Being around all those
Hmm.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I certainly felt that for my first couple rides. Um, yeah, you're constantly around people that you love and respect, and everyone's kind of on the same going the same direction, literally and
Right.
kind of emotionally, and so it's hard when that's pulled out from underneath you.
Did you guys train together before you went?
Yeah, yeah. That was for me personally the training was the most important thing because I was using this kind of as a way to move on with my life. I had just gotten out of a really um, it was a horrible situation that I was in, and I was using this as kind of a way to be positive in my life and be around people that I care and love with. So
Hmm.
that's why the training was so crucial for me. And then Mike came in the picture and was instrumental in helping me through that.
Mike, had you done this before?
No, I tried to do the 2024 ride, but work kept getting in the way of training, and you can't do this without proper training. So I backed out January 2024 and promised myself I would do it again, and I did. So, um, but again, work was in the way for this ride too until January, and then I stepped in and was able to start training with the team with a new job that I got that was supportive of me having the time off I needed to do it. Um, and thankfully Sean was there because that pushed me into getting caught up with the team because I was kind of a little far behind on the distance, and he encouraged me to keep going. So, um, yeah,
Yeah, it was amazing. You went past a benchmark. I don't know what it was, but and
yeah,
then you were like, boom, where'd he go? You have this amazing bike, and not to discredit your abilities, but you were like this bike is just insane. So yeah, you were like, especially the long stretches. I can remember, being on Dylan, and they talk about the rollers, the up and down hills, and
yeah.
I look at it more uphill, but yeah, you were gone. So I was like, wow, well done.
What is a roller?
It refers to kind of shallow hills. You go up a little bit and you go down a little bit.
Oh,
But
Up
when
and
you're on a
down.
bike, it's more the up.
I thought it.
It's more
I,
the
I thought it
uphill.
referred to a rider.
Oh, right. Well, on Dylan, it's a roller, but they failed to tell you that it's slowly going up. There might be some down, but the down is kind of a second thought, and then you're up again. So yeah, it's kind of funny.
Well, let's start. Let's go to that first day. That first day at the Cow Palace. What was that like? Coming into the Cow Palace with all those people there ready to get started, and then you take off.
Yeah. Well, it is an emotional event. The opening ceremonies is just incredible. They have the bike that comes out, the what do they call it? The unmanned bike, or
The ghost bike, I think.
the ghost bike, yeah.
Yeah.
Which represents all people that have died from AIDS.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of symbolic that they're not here and they're not able to do the ride. And it's brought out by a group of people that represent our community, and it's very emotional. They have the the music playing in the background, and it's very, very emotional. They have it all done with lights and everything. So yeah, that's quite an emotional experience. And then, Mike, what did you think of that?
It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
For me, it was very emotional. I was finally there after wanting to do this since the first ride.
Yeah.
In 1994. So it was a very moving and emotional day, and stressful because everyone was trying to also get out on that day one, to get on their bikes and get on the route. Crazy. I mean, it was a madhouse. It was crazy.
They actually opened the route not as well as they had in the past. The people kind of barged through, barriers and stuff. So
yeah, and that's what caused us to get separated because of that. So
traditionally, they have the positive pedalers go out first, and people.
Right.
I don't know what happened, but we got out really quick.
Yeah, it was a barrage of people just mass exit.
Oh.
There was no control. People were just going over barriers that they had been put up. And
wow.
Yeah, it was a crazy mess. It was a crazy mess. But and I was freaking out because it was my first ride and didn't know what to expect, and worried because you got in your head you're going to be riding your bike for 7 days going all the way down to LA from San Francisco. It's mind bending. It's
Oh, when you're there at the can you just take off at any time during the time you're there, or are there set times?
Oh, well, first of all, they have to open the route, and they have to make sure it's safe, and I believe they have to get the okay from the police, the local police, and the police have to be there to kind of escort people out. So there's a safety reason, and then once everything is cleared, they open the route. Traditionally, as I said, they do it staggered, and it's more of a ceremonial. People are lining on either side of the pathway, and positive pedalers traditionally goes out first, and then everyone follows. But this was, I don't know what happened. Again, it was just kind of a madhouse, a mad
dash.
Mad dash. There was so many bikers, I think, that they just couldn't control it, and everyone was just not paying attention to what they were supposed to be doing, and it was just, like we said, a mad rush out through the doors with their bikes to get on their bikes and get going. And there was no control.
Since this was the last ride they had the same, the 1,500. It was an unusual number of riders.
2,000.
How many?
2,000.
2,000. So this was for years, the interest in the ride had dwindled. So the people that were riding, that number got smaller and smaller. So I don't know, maybe the organizers weren't used to the number. I mean, I'm trying to make assumptions, but a lot of it, just the trepidation of getting out of Cow Palace, and we're all thinking we have 100, close to 100 miles ahead of us, and the day one is the hilliest.
Most climbing, yeah.
Yeah, there's a huge elevation. So we had a lot of people just probably wanting to get on the road. That's basically what happened. I hadn't done the ride in 14 years prior to this, and they changed it a little bit. And the route used to go inland a little bit, and this kind of went down to Half Moon Bay, and then you follow the coast. And I found it to be a lot. It wasn't easier, but it was certainly prettier. They had an area that they traditionally had to go around bypass, but they had now opened it. There was part of this tunnel that they were able to allow bicyclists to go through, so that allowed for this change in the route. So anyway, I just found that day one was actually it wasn't easier, but it was more enjoyable. It was prettier.
Yeah, it was pretty.
Going through these small seaside towns. It was actually very pretty.
And you guys were your teammates,
Yeah.
tent mates? Is that how you ride together?
Yeah, well, we're part of the Desert Roadrunners, and we train
okay.
together here locally, and amazing group, and just the people that are the administrator, the people that run it. What is Colleen's last name? Swank,
Swank.
I believe. So she's just one of the examples of one of the people that in Desert Roadrunners that they're amazing. They actually were so well organized that most of our training rides very much represented what the ride would have been like, because they had they had stops with refreshments and water that not all bicycling groups have this, so we were spoiled in that sense.
Well, it prepared us, I think, for the actual ride and what to expect. And I was surprised at how much similar the actual ride was compared to the Desert Roadrunners and our training. It was, I'm more amazed with the training than anything, because they really worked hard to make sure we were well taken care of on those longer routes that we were doing with snacks and water. So.
We have jerseys that for the team, the Desert Roadrunner team, and we also, most of us had little license plates on the back of our bike that kind of that when you pass, you would know that that's one of our teammates, and we would call out, and so that there was definitely that camaraderie there.
But it's not you're all riding together.
Not for
you can go as long as, or as fast or as slow as you want to go.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
It would be impossible, because we all have our own strengths and weaknesses. We all have our speeds that we can do. I mean, some people can only go 10, 12 miles an hour. Others, some of our faster teammates, 15, 16 miles an hour?
Oh, yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah. So on the actual ride, we're not riding together as a team. There would be 60 of us, I think, is what the total was. So it'd be, too many of us. So we just go on our own pace. The route does close at a certain time, so you have to get to the camp for that day by a certain time, because they do close the route for safety reasons as it starts to get dark. And they go through and they pick up those on the route who aren't going to make it to the camp before they close the route.
Okay.
But there's no set time.
Okay. So you had this experience at the Cow Palace, this ceremony, and you get going, and now you're on the road towards Santa Cruz.
Right.
What's going through your mind on this first day going down this road?
Mike and I were separated, so that we kept texting each other like I was always.
You're texting while you're riding?
No. We'd be at like one of the pit stops, one of the rest stops, and like I'd be texting like, "Where are you?" And you'd always be one behind. So day one was a little bit of a mishap, but we had a few other ones during the ride, but we, for the most part, stuck together.
The first day was a little hectic. Cold for a desert dweller, misty, foggy, just drizzly. I mean, it was damp. I am not used to that. It was fun in Huntington Beach. You'd think I'd be used to that, but that was 30 years ago. And thinking, wow, this is crazy. I'm actually doing this.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm doing this after all these years. I'm finally doing this. So
that's
cool.
An
amazing.
That's very
amazing
cool.
Feeling. Yeah.
And so now you're in Santa Cruz. It's that first night there. Is it a party? Is everybody like?
The first night, well, a lot of people they do the princess tour.
Yeah.
So traditionally, you go to camp and you get your tent and you set your tent up. But a lot of people have bypassed that, and along the route every night they stay at a local hotel nearby. So a lot of people, the camp isn't as hectic and as crowded as it used to be. We also had a first night. Mike, you want to take this one?
Well, he was ahead of me by like 6 miles.
Oh, yeah.
He had texted me when he was at the lunch break, and I was just coming up the hill. There was a huge climb before our first lunch break there on that first day.
And I'm like, see ya.
Well, and that told me how I could see on my bike computer where he was, and the rest stop was like 6 miles away. So I knew he wasn't going to wait for me. So, I knew you wouldn't. 6 miles is like what, 45 minutes on a bike.
Yeah.
You know, I knew he was going to be ahead of me and arriving at camp first. So he got there, and he decided that he was going to set up our tent. We were tent mates as well.
Yeah.
He was going to set up our tent for us.
All the.
Yeah. So I use a CPAP, and I have to have electricity for it. And most of the camps where we should be with the team does not have electricity hooked up to it. And they give you a number for your location, the row, and the number for your tent spot. So Sean got there. He got the tent. He goes, "Oh, okay, this is our spot. I'm going to go set it up." But the problem is we weren't supposed to be there because there's no power. So I get there and I go to.
So I was in O22, and he's like, "Well, where are you?" Like, I took a picture of him, like, "Well, you're in the wrong place."
He had the tent set up and everything, and I'm at CPAP Village. Like, you're not here. Where are you? I can't see you. So he came over to where I was. He goes, "Oh crap, we're over there." So he had to go back. We had to go back, take the tent down, and bring it back to the CPAP Village and set it up so I could have power for my CPAP machine.
I love that they actually have a CPAP Village.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant. And it's funny. CPAP Village was pretty quiet
compared
early on the ride.
Yeah.
I think people kind of caught on to the idea that, you've got power right outside your tent. So, the last day there were people snoring in CPAP Village. I'm like,
Yeah, I think people got tired of the noises around the regular camp area and realized that they could go into CPAP Village because they're not patrolling it and have power to charge their lights and their computers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right from their tent. So it got a little more crowded. The first night was great. It was pretty quiet. But
that's very funny.
So that was our first night at camp.
And then we tended the second night too, right? I believe so.
Second night, you princessed.
Oh, I don't think so. I think the second night I was going to, but then I realized every location is different, and the second night was just.
Oh, okay.
It was a clusterfuck trying to get out of there, so I decided to stay in camp.
Right, because
the first night was Paso Robles, and that was just down the street, and but oddly enough, CPAP Village that night was like underneath this spreading oak tree. It was like this.
Yeah, right.
It's like this, like something out of a Tolkien novel. I'm like, well, why don't we stay here? Why don't we stay here? Right. It was funny.
Gandalf was going to come walking out behind the tree.
Exactly.
Was this in the fairgrounds at in Paso Robles?
Fairgrounds,
yeah.
It was a great location,
but
a
nice location.
Yeah, normally they they have the fairgrounds for some reason they're always seeding the sod at that time of the year, so they put you in some dirt pile somewhere. But CPAP Village was very, very idealistic. But we stayed at the, I believe it was the Best Western down the street. It was a really nice location. So, yeah.
Is it the next day that you had your bike mishap?
Day 3. Day 3 was after it was leaving Paso Robles to can't remember, Santa Maria. I don't remember.
I think
Lompoc.
Yeah,
Lompoc. Okay.
And that's the halfway point. And I had several mishaps, but the halfway point was, everyone's it's that place where you see in all the photographs people will hold their bike up over their head. They're standing on a rock, and it's halfway to LA. Have you ever seen these?
Is that like around Carmel?
It's up. It's just it's on the way to Cambria.
I don't remember the highway, but it's up at the top of the peak there. before you go down to the other side towards the coast.
Yeah.
Did you hold your bike up?
Yeah, you hold your bike up halfway.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Oh,
well, Mike did, yeah. But everyone was like, oh, you should take your helmet off because you get a better picture. And so I'm like, first of all, you're sleep deprived, and then you're exhausted and you're starving. I'm like, okay, so I set my helmet down and I'm like, well, where the hell is it? So I was literally spinning around, like, where the hell, because I was going to go, I was wearing a bandana, and I thought it was my helmet, and apparently it wasn't. So you can't ride without your helmet. So anyway, Mike helped me through that.
Well, we pulled up to the route, and we were getting ready to cross the street. They were doing traffic control.
Yeah.
And Colleen, who was one of the roadies, safety.
Where's your helmet?
Yeah, she's like, Ron, where's your helmet? And she's like, oh, okay. So we all backed away, three of us. There was someone else with us. And
this scene is just this chaos. People are milling around, like I don't know where my helmet is, so I thought I lost my helmet. So, but apparently,
well, he put his bike down too, and then he was looking.
Then I lost my bike.
Then I lost the bike. I can remember where he put his bike down, so I watched. What is he doing?
Yeah. I was an emotional. I was a wreck. It was a shitstorm. So anyway, Mike, this is a prime example where Mike helped me through that.
It's a good thing you were there.
Down, like, we're gonna find your helmet. Calm down, and we did, of course.
Right.
Oh, that is so funny, and I'm weirdly not surprised, but.
Well, as I said, I go back to my original intent of doing this ride, and I'm going to say it. This was, this was my line in the sand. This was the halfway point of the ride, and this was, I am not going to think about this fucker anymore. This is it. This is it. I'm half the ride was for this jerk, and the rest of the ride is for me. The rest of my life is for me. So this is the line in the sand. Whenever I kind of use that as a benchmark, and I use that as a way of, okay, if I go down that rabbit hole with this guy, I'll say line in the sand. I'll say those very words, and it helps.
That's great.
Brings me out of that, and I move forward. So anyway,
good.
Mike witnessed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did. Yeah.
There you go.
So I wanted to ask you too about something that you had mentioned, Sean, before. When you go through these towns, when you mentioned one town actually raises money for their schools. What was it like going into these towns with these people knowing that this is the last ride?
It's sad. That's referring to Bradley. Bradley is a little town out in the middle of nowhere, and every year the local school system uses a barbecue to raise money, and we went and did it. It coincides with where the lunch stop is, so you can do the rides lunch, or you can do Bradley, and everyone does Bradley because it's for a good cause, obviously. You walk up to the queue and these adorable kids, and you order your food, and it's all, donation. So I'm like, well, how much is this? And like, how much do you want to pay? I'm like, I'd been given money from one of my bosses. He gave me $300. So I had $300 bills. So I just gave him a $100 bill, and you could see the little girl's, face just light up, and she was just, so thankful. And that alone was worth it. And then when you get your food, they have all the kids are calling out your name and giving you your hamburger. So it was a fun experience to, be part of that community.
I think they now have a plaque that says Sean Rhodes, $100.
No. But it's sad because I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what that community's going to do. Because the ride now they're separating the center and the San Francisco center, or they're separating and they're doing their own rides, smaller rides. So they're not going to be going through Bradley. So I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah. The ride was an important fundraiser for them for their after school activities and field trips. And supplies and stuff like that. This year they raised the most they'd ever raised, hosting us there at Bradley for their school. I think it was 110,000. Was it that
Oh,
much?
wow. I didn't realize.
Wow.
It was a lot. It was more than they had ever raised, and I think they got a lot of donations from the riders because it was the last time that we would be going through there.
Right.
I don't know the exact amount. I think it was 110, but it was
Wow, that's amazing.
It was a record amount.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
The shirt I'm wearing kind of represents the ride with icons, and the hamburger is the Bradley.
Are those all the stops?
Well, it just represents kind of benchmarks. So I believe this is supposed to be the Otter Pop stop, which is full of bears.
It could be.
The Chicken Lady, the Paradise Pit, just drag queen, because
There's a bear stop?
What's
There's
that?
a bear stop?
Well, on day 2, the longest ride, I found it to be fun. It was a really fun ride. It's 105 miles, but it's so long that not only do they have regular pit stops, they also have water stops. But the last water stop, they have Otter Pops, like that ice,
that flavored ice,
frozen infection.
Oh,
long tubes.
yeah.
Slice them.
So it's the Otter Pop stop, and so you have all these
That's cute.
bears, giving out. They're usually wearing Speedos, and
it is. Oh, it's an actual gay bears stop.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So the Otter Pops. So it's kind of it's a double entendre.
I love it.
So yeah, it's a photo ops. You can stand in front of this backdrop with all the Otter Pop, all the bears. Anyway, and you have to realize you're out in the middle. You're in the Salinas Valley. You're out in the middle of nowhere. So agricultural everywhere, and it's just this kind of this Fellini moment, like a bunch of bears and Speedos out in the middle of nowhere. It's really brilliant. So
You gotta love California for that.
I know, right?
Well, there was a point you said that you lost your bike for a day. You didn't have a bike for a day.
Yeah, I've been training on an old bike, and I believe it was Dave. I don't know what day it was, but one of my shifters, the actual physical shifter, the metal, just fatigued, and I was shifting and it fell off. I'm like, what the fuck? So I picked it up. I don't know why, thinking that I could just kind of jam at that, but that didn't work. So anyway, I wasn't. It was so old, and the part wasn't available. So I had 2 gears. I had the back gear was what was disabled. So whatever gear it was on, it was stuck on that gear. So I had that gear, and then I could move the bigger gear in the front. So I had basically what it amounted to is I had a gear for hills and I had a gear for flat. I only had 2 gears. So I did day 5, which was luckily the shortest day. It was also Red Dress Day with 2 gears because I had to wait a whole day for them to get my rental. I had the opportunity to rent a bike there. They had a bike repair place that had rentals. So they brought in a rental from one of their local shops. And so I love to say that I trained on a Model T and I finished the ride on this Ferrari because it was the state-of-the-art Cannondale. It had automatic shifters. I'm like, oh my God, this is what reality is like. I was thinking of like, oh, this is what Mike's been training on. So yeah, it was amazing. But I didn't, stupid. I didn't inflate the tires, or just the assumption that they would be renting me a bike and it would be ready for me to ride, and I didn't inflate the tires all the way. So the following day, I had a bump. We were literally on the 101 going into Santa Barbara, and I had a bump, and both my tires went flat.
Oh,
yeah. So I was on a bike that I didn't know how to change the tires. It was so new that it required a special tool. I didn't have the tool. So I was just stranded there. And again, this is one of the times that Mike and I got separated because he's like texting me, "Where the fuck are you?" Well, I'm like a mile before, or actually it turned out to be 11 miles before the lunch stop. So it was so well managed that somebody came and sagged me to lunch, and I was able to change the tire and finish the ride. But,
that was going to be my next question. What happens when that happens? Does someone come and how do you contact someone if you're out in the middle?
It's so well organized that on your wrist you have a wristband with your number, and there's an emergency number on there. So I had my cell phone, so I was able to call the number, and I got a dispatch, and they connected me to somebody. They're called SAG vehicles that are constantly patrolling the route. And this one, they all have cute little themes, and this was the guy. I don't remember what the theme was, but they came by and picked my bike up and put it on the bike rack and took me to the lunch stop. And every stop has a bike repair place, and the lunch stop, he was able to help me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So
I'm just picturing Mike going, Sean?
Oh, yeah.
How did I get so?
Yeah, I know.
Every time something went wrong with Sean, I was not with him.
Yeah, we got separated a couple times, and it was usually me behind Mike, but I guess the last day in front of you. Like, where are you? I don't know. So, because of the fires, the last day we traditionally go from Ventura to Santa Monica along the 1, going through Malibu, and because of the past fires, they had the PCH closed, so we had to change the route and go inland, like up to past Calabasas and through the valley, and it was interesting. It was a different route, and I thought it would be more difficult, but it was actually not too bad. Yeah.
Is this whole route on like 2-lane road, or do they take you onto the freeways in some of it?
Well, because there's certain areas, especially like right around Santa Barbara, right before Santa Barbara, that is the only road that's available. It's the 101. It's so they allow you on the freeway. The highway patrol maintains it obviously beautifully, and they are constantly taking you off when there's an exit, because they don't want you to go over a bridge, because there's no shoulder at that point. There was one point where they had us go over a bridge, and they cordoned off that lane, so it was only a 1 lane for traffic, but you're on the freeway with semis flying by you.
Yeah,
it's pretty wild.
That would be a little scary.
It was actually first time I'd have been on a high speed road like that.
Yeah.
But it's oddly beautiful. I mean, you're right along the coast and people are spying dolphins out in the ocean. It's actually very beautiful.
So Mike, so you're now coming into Santa Cruz. That's where the end is, in Santa Cruz? No, in Santa Monica.
Santa Monica, yeah.
Santa Monica.
Right.
And so what was that like? Just coming into that last mile?
There's so many emotions there were so many emotions running through my mind that I was in a daze. I was excited that I had done the whole thing with no problems. I was emotional because it was coming to an end. It was mind numbing for me because it was just so overwhelming to me. It was an incredible journey. I didn't want it to end. I wanted it to keep going.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was that impactful for me. I'm surprised I didn't break down as much as I did at the end. I expected to be a mess, like in tears and and all that. I was more so afterwards, after I got home, and it hit me that I was no longer going to be riding my bike for the ride, and that it was over. I was so numb when we got to Santa Monica that I wouldn't say emotionless. It was just like in shock. Like, it's hard to explain. It was just so, I don't know, just incredible for me. It was just, I did this. I can't believe I just did this. So
yeah, we had gathered maybe 3 miles before the closing ceremonies in a park right on Santa Monica, along Ocean Boulevard. So David, you had mentioned if we rode together. We tried as a team to ride in together to closing ceremonies. Yeah. So we met 3 miles before the closing ceremony so we could do that. So at least half the team rode with us, with the team captain, Tim Wood. And that for me was very emotional. The location of the closing ceremonies, I had seen several of them. This was right on the beach, literally. And you're going down Ocean Boulevard, and then you make a right down this very steep hill. It's a short hill, but it's a steep hill that brings you down to one of the beach parking lots. That was where the ceremony was. So that elevation change, all of a sudden you're up high, and then you're going down, and then you see this amazing ceremony with all the spectators and all the supporters, and that is, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. Just the support that you get and people cheering you, and it was amazing.
Yeah. It was the whole thing was amazing. People lined up along the side of the road in places you wouldn't expect people to be there.
Oh, I know.
It's amazing to me that they'd sit there all day and cheer us, each rider on as they go by.
That's
and they
really
usually
cool.
holding a sign that represents their loved one who had passed from AIDS.
Right.
So I had a story. That was it's really touching because, as Mike said, you're out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And you probably forget that you're exhausted.
You do.
Yeah.
You're going. You're not getting much sleep when you're in the tent. Maybe 5 hours sleep if you're lucky. But you have to get up and you have to go, and you don't think about the fatigue. I don't think I realized how tired I was until I was driving home from LA, because I had to drive home myself.
Okay.
And I was like, oh my God, I am so freaking tired.
Yeah.
I crashed, that night I got home.
Sure.
And then I got really sick.
From the exhaustion?
Adrenaline coming down from the adrenaline for 7 days of doing that, the exhaustion. But yeah, when you're on that ride, you've got so much adrenaline going. There's so much going on. You don't think about being tired. It just didn't dawn on me that I was that tired.
Yeah.
So I was having too much fun too. Really, I was enjoying every minute of it. So
they do keep you distracted. The autopop stop is a prime example of that. Every pit stop or whatever, rest stop, would have a theme, and whether it be the Wizard of Oz, it could be anything, and they would all, it's just kooky, This is kind of fun. Like, oh, okay, some really hot guy at a, like George of the Jungle. I'm like, okay, yes, please.
You stick him in your basket.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And then don't get me started with just, our team we were pretty hot, but some of these other teams from, say, LA, they all have funny names like Fruit Punch, and then there's Team Bob. Team Bob, which is Boys on Bikes. And then these are there's this one guy, I'm sorry, but he was just like a Greek god on a bike. He was 6'4", built like a brick shit house, and he just oh, I like stuff. You like stuff?
My name. I don't know my name. I don't know my name.
Right.
That's very funny.
Yeah. Anyway.
Can you guys tell me, for each of you, why did you do this? What was the motivation behind it?
So back when I was in high school, I had a friend. It was a friend of the family's. His parents were friends with my parents. He was about 4 or 5 years older than me. We would go camping a lot, fishing, big fishermen, my parents and his. So we would hang out a lot at campsites on weekends and stuff. I found out when he was 19 or 20 that he had tested positive for HIV. This was in 1985, 86.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So he didn't live very long. He died in like 1987, 89, something like that. I don't remember the year. It was, a long, long time ago. I remember I had taken him to Disneyland prior to, and he had lost a lot of weight. He was really thin, and I didn't know at that time that he had HIV. And we were running around the park, and I was working there at the time, so I got us in for free. He got exhausted too quickly. I mean, we had to leave within a couple hours because he couldn't walk anymore. He was just so exhausted. And that has kind of stuck with me for a long time. And then I came home and my mom told me that he had passed. It was hard to accept. And then I had a partner who was positive, who died in 96. So I did this ride for them, in memory of them. And I also did it to prove to myself that even though I'm almost 60, I'm still active. I'm still physically fit. I can still do stuff like this. I'm not with a walker or wheelchair or canes like you see a lot of people nowadays our age.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to prove myself that I could do this. So there's like 3 reasons why I did this.
And with purpose.
Yeah.
Like you did this for a purpose. Like
Yes.
it was, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And I wanted to raise money for the community because I know how difficult it is for some of HIV/AIDS patients to get services if they don't have it. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you, Sean?
Well, again, I had the personal reason. It was kind of a means to an end for me, for personal reasons, and to stay positive and work towards some more of an altruistic reason and get out of my head. Last fall, they got me with that. This is the final ride email, and I just couldn't say no. I made the decision immediately because, as I said, I wanted to do something positive and something meaningful. And so I did. I didn't even have a road bike at the time. And it's amazing how it all kind of fell together pretty effortlessly. And when things like that happen, I know that is for a reason. This was the right thing to do because it was so easy to get all my stuff together and do it. The ride for me is it's an institution in our community. It's been around for a generation. It's been around for over 35 years. I did one of the earlier rides, and I wanted to see it through. I wanted to be part of that final ride. The closing ceremonies was very emotional, but it was also it kind of transcended the moment. But it was not only was it final for that ride, but it was also the final ride. So you had a lot of finals. They had a lot of the last rider literally went by, and that's pretty profound. It's a time when we don't need that to be the last rider. If anything, we need more. We need more of these events to keep our community together and support and just the visibility that we're exceptional people.
Yes.
And I say that very strongly because there are many times when Mike and I were on training rides here, even in the valley, down valley, and we'd be on, say, Washington Boulevard, and you get this errant call out a window, you're going to burn in hell. Yeah. And that's the reality that we live in. that's the stupid reality of people that don't understand, don't know. And so that's why this ride is so important. And it's sad that it was the last one, but luckily it's going to reinvent itself, and there are going to be smaller rides that we can still show or have our visibility and show that we're strong as a community.
Yeah, I do agree. I think it's a shame that this one is ending, because we are coming into a time where it's going to be needed, because people are going to lose their health care and they won't have the funds. And,
Right.
And luckily, like you said, they are going to be doing smaller rides.
Yeah.
But this was a major event that everyone knew about. Everyone. Right. And it's also kind of interesting, though, that, and maybe it is because it was the last ride, that so many people showed up.
Yeah. It is for that reason. I mean, people came out of the woodwork. People that hadn't been involved for years came back. So it's important to honor that and honor the legacy that the ride had. I'm getting a little choked up thinking about it. But I feel very strongly about that. You can go out and picket and show your support that way, and that's wonderful. But this is another way of showing your strength and showing your ability, not just physical strength, but stamina and perseverance, and those are all very important things that we're not going to go away. That scenario, and that's what people down valley or say that I'm going to burn in hell need to see. They need to see that. And I feel very strongly about that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you.
What's great about, we'll go back to the Desert Roadrunners. We had a century ride. We had a 100-mile ride as one of the training rides. It was so well made and supported that's going to be a good example of kind of the smaller rides that are going to continue here locally. The center in Los Angeles is planning on doing a ride. It's a 3-day ride. Is that right, Mike? I believe it's from LA to San Diego. So there are going to be smaller rides.
I mean, it is cool that things are being born out of this, right? So it's not
going to go away.
It's not going away.
There's going to be more rides. The people that were involved with this aren't going to let it just disappear like this. Even it's not going to be the 7-day one, but it's going to be definitely something.
Yeah, just the cost of the 7-day ride was just too prohibitive. But you have to believe it's something not better, but certainly different. Is going to be born from this.
Well, I'm really proud of the both of you for doing this and representing and being out there and
thank you,
making it happen. Yeah,
I'm super proud of Mike. I think.
Yes, I was just gonna say, especially you, Mike, who this was your first.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been able to do it without Sean.
You were like, bam, like you did it.
I wouldn't have been able to do it without you because. So Sean and I met in 2022. I worked at the gym, and I was a personal trainer there. We kind of were friends a little bit at work. Then we ran into each other at one of the first training rides, and Sean, Mike, and I wanted to ride with him because I think he's a cool guy, So I wanted to hang out with him on the ride and stuff, but I couldn't in the beginning because he was so much faster than me. He'd take off, and I would be riding by myself, and I didn't want that, so I pushed myself to catch up to him. And I finally did, but it was his encouragement and his like, "Oh, you're really improving. You're getting stronger. You're getting better." And the teammates also making.
And then the tables turned a little bit. I'm like, where'd he go?
That really helped me get to that point where I could actually do this right, because I really was thinking about giving it up because a lot of times I was riding by myself, and I think it's better. I mean, it's better to have somebody with you.
Oh yeah,
you support each other. You cheer each other on. I mean, there was one day when on a training ride, Sean had gotten ahead of me, and I sprinted to catch up to him. And he's like, I'm not into this today. I'm like, we can do this. We can get this done. Yeah. We did. We got it done. It was a big ride. So the both of us, I think, really help each other out a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Dave Free was a testament to that.
Yeah. Well.
So it was a challenge technically for me. There are a lot of technical challenges.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to just want to give up and get on. They have the SAG bus. You can just get on the bus and do the Princess all the way back into camp and not deal with it. And
yeah,
that crossed my mind on several occasions.
But you did it.
But I did it. I only lost 11 miles.
Who's counting?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 545-ish miles.
Yeah.
And you're both part of this Roadrunners group, and you'll continue riding together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'm trying to talk Sean into doing one of the other 3D events that comes up next year. He's not so sure yet, I think, if he wants to or not, but I really hope he does, because I'd like to do the ride with him again, do another ride with him.
Well, yeah, I highly recommend the San Francisco ride. Is it the Jonathan Pond?
That's what I want to do. Yeah, definitely.
It goes up through Sonoma. I've actually done that when David and I lived up in San Francisco.
Yeah,
longer than I care to admit. I did that ride, and it's really amazing. It's a beautiful ride, and they have an overnight at a nudist camp. Coincidentally,
well, that's interesting.
But it's really fun.
Coincidentally.
So yeah, I plan to keep on riding. I enjoy it. I fell in love with it.
Good.
It's a nice place for my mind. And I told our team captain and our co-captain that I want to get more involved with the team. So we'll see what happens now that the ride's over, what we're going to do. But I still plan on riding for sure.
Good.
And I'm picking my bike up next week, actually 2 days. Vic was able to get a shifter.
Good.
from some errant part store somewhere. And yeah, so I'll be able to get back on the bikes. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for spending this time with me and telling me about your journey, because I think it's cool, one, and I'm so proud of you for being out there and doing this.
Thank you, David.
And I think everyone needs to hear what it was like and what is going to be missing now going forward.
Yeah,
because this big ride is not happening anymore.
Yeah, Bradley is a prime example of that.
Yeah.
And just these pit stops. I mean, just people, I would hear stories of like, well, this is the last one. I guess I won't see you guys anymore. This is a woman that had been on that corner for years and rooted riders on. And you hear these milestones, these finalities. So it's sad.
And actually, I do have a question. You said when you were in LA and people were telling you you're going to burn in hell.
No, this was here down in
La Quinta.
Yeah.
But,
when I say down valley.
But in these small towns that you were hitting, it sounds like it was the opposite.
It was. You're in like Gonzales. I mean, you're in like it's full of workers.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work. I had a respect for these people to begin with, but to be on a road on the Salinas Valley and watching these poor people run from the strawberry where they pick the strawberries to where they dump the strawberries, because it's a time-based thing. It's just is it's a horrible life, and these were wonderful people and strong and very caring,
waving at us as we rode by, and
That's
places I thought we might have problems with, or have some slur yelled at us.
It's the opposite.
Everybody was so friendly, and there was absolutely nothing negative said to us on the ride the entire 7 days.
What a surprise! Wow. It's the white Republican people.
Shocking.
I know. Isn't
shocking.
It's
yeah.
That's another show.
Yeah, I'm going to burn in hell, and I felt like, well, I'm going to be with all my friends, so yay, it's going to be a party.
All right. right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you, David.
This has been great.
It was fun.
All right.
Wow. Wow, there's something really powerful about crossing that finish line, especially one like this. After 7 days and 500 miles, Mike and Sean came down that steep hill into Santa Monica. Ocean on one side, crowds cheering them on the other side, people holding signs for loved ones. People who've survived, people who've ridden, people who never stopped hoping. That last mile, that last stretch of road, it was a celebration of life, a celebration of community, of every mile before it and every story behind it. And maybe that's what makes this ride so unforgettable. It asks something of you. And in return, it gives back something even bigger. The AIDS life cycle may have ended. But for people like Sean and Mike, who made the ride more than a fundraiser, they made it a story about friendship, of healing, and of being seen. And remember, there's always one more mile, and sometimes that mile changes everything. Until next time, be bold, be free, be you. I'm David Begor, and this has been Friends, Loves, and Life.